I think Hypergryph just made one of the hardest pull decisions in Arknights Endfield. And honestly, I don't know who I'm pulling for anymore. We got Arcane who just got released and Liino coming right after. Then during the 1.4 livestream, Hypergryph casually revealed 3 more future operators and they all look like a character you don't want to skip. One of them is C, who's apparently one of the Sui proxies from OG Arknights. Now, I never played the original game, but from all the comments I've been getting and after doing a bit of reading, people seem to agree on one thing. Whenever a Sui sibling shows up, they're usually really, and I mean really good. So if that trend continues in Endfield, that just makes this pull decision even harder. If you're a spender, this is probably exciting for you. If you're free to play like me, well, we're kinda cooked. Right now, I have around 97,000 Oroberyls, which sounds a lot until you realize that to guarantee just one operator, it will cost about 60,000 Oroberyls. And unlike a lot of other gacha games, that guarantee doesn't carry over. Which means the problem isn't deciding who I want. It's actually deciding who I can afford to skip. Because right now, I can realistically guarantee around 2 characters at best. And one of those guarantees is already reserved. You guys already know, male operator, instant pull. We male fielders have standards. So today, let's figure out who actually deserves those precious Oroberyls. We'll break down Arcane, Liino, and whether skipping either of them is actually the right move. Because one wrong decision could cost me my next guaranteed operator. But before we get into that, if you're planning on pulling for Arcane, Liino, or honestly any of these upcoming operators, chances are you're probably going to need a lot more Oroberyls than you currently have. If you are planning to top up and want to save a bit of money, let me introduce you to LootBar. LootBar is an all-in-one gaming top-up platform where you can top up for Arknights Endfield at a discounted price. Right now, Endfield top-ups are already discounted, and new users can save even more with an additional coupon for a total of up to 20% off. The process is straightforward. Just choose the pack you want, complete your payment, log in through LootBar's secure one-time cloud device to redeem it just like an official purchase, and once you're done, your login data is automatically cleared. They also offer fast delivery in just a few minutes, refund support, secure transactions, and have thousands of positive reviews on Trustpilot. And it's not just Endfield either. They also sell official Steam CD keys for plenty of popular games if that's something you're interested in. If you're planning to pull for Arcane, Liino, or whoever ends up destroying your Oroberyl savings next, check out my link in the description and pin comment to save on your next top-up. Now, let's talk about these banners. Normally, deciding whether to pull isn't that difficult. You either like the character or they're incredibly meta, and that's usually enough. This patch is different because for the first time, I don't think there are any bad choices. Both Arcane and Liino look amazing, but then Hypergryph decided to show us what was coming afterwards, and suddenly, skipping a character became just as important as pulling one. So let's start with Arcane. I'll be honest, Arcane is making this decision a lot harder than I expected. Not because she's just another strong DPS, it's because Hypergryph did something really interesting with her kit. Arcane is essentially 2 characters in one. Depending on how you build her, she can either become a dedicated DPS or a support. If you build her around Int, she turns into an absolute burst monster. And I mean, she hits really hard. At max skill levels, her battle skill, combo skill, and ultimate all have some ridiculous multipliers. There are already plenty of showcase videos breaking down the numbers, so instead of reading every multiplier on screen, let's just say the damage is definitely there. But that's only half of what makes Arcane interesting. If your wheel stat becomes higher than your int, she completely changes roles. Instead of focusing on damage, she starts supporting the team. Her combo skill and ultimate start applying Art's Infliction for free. She provides art susceptibility, and she even gives your team a little bit of grouping, which is actually pretty nice, especially if you skip Gilberta. Honestly, I love this design. This is probably one of the most creative operators Hypergryph has released so far after Rossi. Instead of making another straightforward DPS, they gave us a character that can completely change roles depending on how you build her. And she has a cat. Hypergryph, you're really not making this easy for me. But here's where I started asking myself the important question. Is Arcane actually the operator my account needs? I don't think the answer is as straightforward as I expected. Because if I only look at Arcane by herself, she's incredible. She's one of the strongest DPS nuke characters we've gotten. She has a really unique kit, and on top of that, she can even fill a supportive role when your team needs it. Honestly, that's a very easy character to recommend. But I'm not pulling in a vacuum. I'm pulling in a patch where every Oroberyl matters. And that's what makes this decision so difficult. Because when I look at my account, I don't really think what I'm missing right now is another DPS, even one as good as Arcane. Especially when I've already mentally reserved one of my guarantees for a new male operator. And let's be honest here, he already looks like he's going to be another DPS anyway. Unless Endfield actually makes another male operator Vanguard, then we're cooked. So for me, Arcane isn't competing against weak characters. She's competing against my future pool plans. And this is where I started wondering if Liino might actually be the better investment. Now, here's the funny part. Liino isn't even out yet. We still don't have her final numbers. So everything I'm about to say is based on what Hypergryph showed us during the live stream. But from what we've seen so far, Liino is shaping up to be a universal support. At first glance, she looks like an electric support, which would normally make you think, okay, she's probably just for electric teams, right? But after reading through her skills, I don't think that's the case. Her battle skill immediately caught my attention. While it's active, she gives your entire team an attack buff, continuously heals everyone, and even attacks alongside your team. But what really stood out to me is how little SP this skill actually costs. It's only around 25 SP or less, which is incredibly low compared to most battle skills. That means she should have a very high uptime on both her buffs and healing. Then there's her ultimate. More healing, more buffs, more damage. It also continuously increases your team's attack while giving nature and electric buffs on top of that, which is obviously great news for characters like Arcane and Zhuangfang Yi. And this is where the entire pool decision changes for me, because I don't really care if Liino ends up being amazing for electric teams. I think that's already expected. The real question is, how good is she everywhere else? If Liino's attack buffs are actually massive and she can slot comfortably into physical, cryo, fire, pretty much any team in the game, then I honestly think she becomes one of the highest value pools we've had in Endfield. Characters like that usually age incredibly well. That's one of the reasons why Gilberta has stayed so valuable. General supports that can fit into almost every team tend to stay relevant for a very long time. But here's the problem. We still don't know her numbers. How big are those attack buffs really? Does she meaningfully improve physical teams, or are most of her buffs actually concentrated around nature and electric? That's going to be the deciding factor for me. So where does that leave me? Honestly, I really like Arcane. If I had enough Oroberyls, I'd probably pull for her without thinking twice. But unfortunately, I don't. So right now, I'm leaning towards Liino, but only if she ends up being the universal support I'm hoping she'll be. But if I feel that Liino isn't the universal support I was expecting her to be, there's actually a world where I skip both Arcane and Liino and wait for C instead. Okay, in the middle of recording, I just realized I was pronouncing her name wrong. It's not C, it's S.
The name is Su. Don't forget it again.
I apologize, I haven't played the new story yet. Anyway, what about you guys? Who's getting your Oroberyls dispatch? Arcane, Liino, or are you already saving for one of the future operators? Honestly, I still don't think there's a wrong answer here, because the problem isn't deciding who I want, it's deciding who I can afford to skip. Let me know down in the comments below, I'd love to hear what you guys are planning. Also, my DPS Camille showcase without Rossi or Laev is up next, so stay tuned for that. I think you guys are really going to enjoy that one. And that's basically it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye for now. Johnny.
Sir.